being said, I would like to pass on the microphone to Tony so he can introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Sim, and all the staff of EIC for this opportunity you have given to us to showcase the one of the most authentic dish from my country where I came from, Angola, which is situated in South Western Africa. And I want also to extend my appreciation and my gratitude to this opportunity, and also for my guests and everyone that right now are connected through Zoom to support this event and this moment that I will be here presenting and doing some cooking and all this. So I want to really extend my gratitude towards everybody that's watching us at this moment. I am Tony Muto. I came from Angola, and beside me is standing my beautiful wife, Asmarat Aide Wedoyones, which is not from my country, is from Eritrea, but she has herself been embedded into my culture, and she also have participated in cooking this meal. So we have been having a lot of pleasure together doing so in our house. So today she's with me, so we can also present this cooking to our audience and everyone that is present today. No further ado, I want to express that Angola, for those who are not aware of the country, Angola is an African country. We are situated in sub-Saharan of Africa. We are bordered with the two Congos on the north and the northeast, the DRC Congo and the Republic of Congo. Republic of Congo in the north and the DRC Congo in the northeast. And the east of Angola, we have Zambia. And on the west of Angola, we have the Atlantic Oceans. Southwest of Angola, we are bordered with Namibia. So it's a pleasure for me to be here today and to present. Calulu is one of the authentic dish in Angola. We eat it, it's prepared all nationwide from north, south, east, and west. So the name Calulu originated from a Congo tribe, which is the people from north of Angola. They are called Bakongos. They are Congos, based on a Congo kingdom before the Westerns settled in Africa. They came to Africa. Angola had a kingdom which 5 countries, they were part of that, 4 countries were part of 5 countries were part of that kingdom, which is Gabon, Central Africa, the 2 Congos, and Angola. There were 5 countries into one kingdom. So that kingdom, they call it the Congo Kingdom. So Calulu, it's one of the name that came from Congo, a tribe in the north of Angola. The meaning of Calulu means like the Congo people, after when the women prepare the food and the best portion of the meal, that's the one they set apart for the husband to eat, and they used to call it Calulu. So and then it went on to generalize in all countries. So it's really preferred that dishes in Angola, and now some African countries like Santo Tome, Cabo Verde, they have embraced that meal, that recipe as well. And we have Brazil, we have in Europe, we have France, Portugal, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. Also, they kind of cooking them. They put it a part of the menu in the restaurant. So if you go to those countries in one of the restaurants you ask, you might be lucky to have that meal prepared for you in those countries and the restaurants, which is I just mentioned. In Canada, we have a Montreal, where they have opened up Angolan restaurant. If you end up going to Montreal and look for Angolan restaurant there, you'll be able to be served Calulu. And you can make it as well at your home. While you're seeing us the way we prepare, you'll be able to do that. Angola is a multicultural and multiracial country in Africa. We have a diverse culture and race in that country. So, as I say, Calulu is one of the favorite dish in Angola, and we have Kizomba, which is also the favorite dance and music in Angola, and it's danced now. Even Shakira, I think she sang a couple of songs about that. So no further ado, I'm pleased to be here in front of you and do some demonstrations and do some cooking and share my dishes with you. And then in the end, then it will be bon appetit to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. So I might interject, and if there's any questions from the audience, they type it in the chat. I'm going to ask them, or if there's not any questions, I might come up with my own. So I do have one question right now. Today, actually in the 6th week, tonight is the first night we're featuring seafood, something fish-based. So being next to the Atlantic Ocean, is seafood and fish a main staple in the Angolan cuisine?
Yes, yes, it is. Being part of the ocean coastal country, yeah, the fish is really is the main dishes that we eat in Angola, especially for those people really into the coastal area of Angola and the ocean. That we eat more of that, and also we eat meat, which is pork and beef as well.
Okay, great.
But it's not goat and the lamb. It's not really a part of the favorite dishes in Angola, but beef and pork and the fish. These are the main food. Yes.
Great. So how are we going to make Calulu?
Okay. It's very simple dishes and with simple ingredients. So here we have a spinach, and then we have tomato, we have onion, we have eggplant, and we have a green onion, we have okra, and then we have the fish, which is today I choose to use tilapia, but whoever want to make it, you can make it with different type of fishes. That is optional, depending on the person's taste. You can use different fish as well. And then I have a bay leaf, and then I have a grinded garlic. I have a salt, and then I have a red oil, which is from palm tree. So, and then I have a cooking banana, which is it's one of the serving portion with, but not necessary. You don't need to use that to eat with Calulu. You can use anything with. You can eat it with rice or spaghetti, whatever you want. But we decided to use the cooking banana today to make it simple. But people have different choices there to choose which one will be the side dish that will go with Calulu. So this is pretty much the ingredient that we have, and we'll be ready to use it to go with Calulu.
Tony, the okra, is that frozen or is that fresh? I'm looking at the ingredients in terms of where we can find them. So okra might be a specialty, and the palm oil, where do we get those ingredients?
The okra, you can find it everywhere in any store, superstore, Walmart, any retail stores. They do major retail stores. They sell that. TNT, they sell it as well. You can. We would prefer that you buy it fresh, but if you don't find it fresh, you can still buy the frozen one and then let it sit for some time for all the ice to melt, and then you can use it if in case you don't find it. Right now, like what we have here, we use the fresh one that we bought from. I bought it from Superstore, so it's a fresh one, so we're using. And then the red oil, which is the palm tree oil. This one you can find it at all African stores, the major African stores here in Edmonton. You can also find it at the Chinese store, the TNT. They do carry them, and also some East Indian stores, especially on the south side of Edmonton. They do carry them as well, but you don't find it into the
regular stores. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it in like Superstore.
No, you don't find it. Only African store, Chinese store, or East Indian stores.
Okay.
But the rest of the ingredients you can find it in our major retail stores that we're used with. Any other question before I can go to the show?
Sorry, I had someone coming into the office. So yeah, no, go ahead. I don't see any comments from the audience so far. So let's get started.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate having that. So because we'll be handling food And to explain that I am here with my wife, which is from the same household, so we don't really need to have to wear the mask. So before we start, we're going on to, I will wash my hands with soap.
So the fish right now, it's just basically cleaned up, deboned. I think the bones are removed, right?
Yes, we have to make sure that because the people that will be serving, we have to make sure that they don't eat with the bones. So we're trying to remove the bones and wash it. As you see, it has been clearly pruned and then wash it properly, remove all the bones, and really keep it really clean. So all is ready to go, and it's safe for people to eat it in the end of the cooking.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first step now we're preparing, we're cutting in the onion.
It's basically just chopping them.
Yeah. Here we go. So the onion usually is depend on the portion, how many people you're serving. So and how much you like the onion. Like I really like onion. So I put a lot of onion in every cooking I do. On my meals, I like putting a lot of onion. I like putting a lot of okra. That is me, my taste. I like it that way. But for people who don't really, they're not really, they don't like much of onion and okra. The portion for 2 to 3 people, you can just put 1 onion will be enough for you. And then you can put 4 or 5 okras. It should be enough to cook, do a good meal of Calulu for 2 or 3 people. But as I say, it's a personal choice when it comes to the ingredient. But you can put as much onion you want. You can put as much garlic you want, and as much okra you want. It won't harm you. It won't do anything. It's just going to be increase the flavor on the meal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Somebody actually did ask something to that. So you had already shared the recipe for about 3 people. So I'm going to share that with our audience. That recipe is about 3 people. If you're making it for 3, how much fish you would add?
Oh.
Because for tonight, it looks like we have more than.
For 3 is depend. I'll be cooking. Like you see, I put in 6 fish, tilapia, which was a medium size. So I put 6 tilapia. This will be enough for people craving and people like fishes. This will be really enough to feed up to 3 to 4 people. But if people are really hungry, I think 4 fishes of the largest size of fish, tilapia would be enough to feed up 4 people.
Okay, 1 per person, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I put 6 because this is a medium size. They are not the largest one, so they are the medium size. So I prefer to put 6.
Okay. Well, that reminds me now to our audience that are listening. Because we're cooking at the EIC kitchen tonight, and our EIC kitchen is a certified community kitchen. We're actually going to see if there's any demand, if any of our audience that's online tonight are actually living close to the EIC, and when you finish cooking, if they would like to stop by and pick up a serving for their family for tonight, we are going to put up some to go Calulu. For donation, I'm going to do a drawing, and donations will to the EIC to cover some of our costs will be encouraged. But if anybody is interested in being part of the pickup food tonight, they can message me privately.
Correct. Yeah, no problem. We'll be more than happy to have these people and to try our cooking today. And then yeah, they will be more than welcome to do so. And we will prepare for them, and we make sure that they enjoy the cooking today. So yes, they can come in and have some portion with us.
Okay, so the onion is chopped right now. How are we going to cook it?
So the cooking now is, now we have the onion. The onion has been prepared. So I have a grinded garlic, which is I prepared ahead of time because we want to work with the time frame here. So I have, and then what's going to do now, we're going to pour, we turn on the heat. Yeah. It's, this one. Okay. So we turn the heat on high so that we can allow the cooking pot to warm quicker. And before we have to let it sit for like 2 to 3 minutes until really the burner turns hot, and the cooking pot gets in touch with the burner, and then we have some heat inside the pot before we can put it in. The first thing we'll be putting in, it will be the oil, the red oil. So what we have here, it's roughly around 200 milliliters of oil. This is also, as I say, 2 holes of red oil. This also, it depends on the option, how many portions you're doing. If you're doing for one person, you don't need that much oil. You only need it, which is 75 milliliters of red oil, if you're just doing for yourself. But if you're doing for 2, 3 people, you need to put it in a little bit of more of red oil. So we decide, as we're going to cook for 3 to 4 people today, we decide to increase the level, the amount of oil, which we want, we will bring it up to 200 milliliters. So now I can see that the burner is there and the pot already getting hot. So I'm going to pour this oil into the pot. You see, you pour it in. Make sure that the oil, the red oil, it's really, really not frozen. It's soft and ready to go. So I put it in 2 milliliters of red oil, and then we're gonna let it sit for like another 2 to 3 minutes, so that the oil heat a little bit before we can add it in the ingredients.
Okay. So while it's warming up, tell me, you were saying once this it's finished, Calulu, you usually serve it with rice or the cooking bananas. What do you eat it with?
The thing to eat with Calulu, it will be optional. You can, today we're going to use a cooking banana, just to, this is one of the side dish you can use to eat with Calulu. But you can eat it with everything. You can eat it with mashed potatoes. You can eat it with rice. You can eat it, it's a fish stew. You can eat it with spaghetti. You can eat it with even bread. You can eat it with bread if you want to.
Yeah, it looks like from the picture, it looks like it's going to have a very, very tasty like stew juice.
It is.
Yeah.
It really, yeah, it's really, yeah. Give me a second. Let's put it in a little bit. So yeah, this is you can do it that way too. Yeah, we'll see. let's get to the game, and then the end result will define itself.
Okay. Yeah, the cooking banana, somebody's asking, yes, it is plantain, plantains, the Brazilians, hey, that's what they call them.
And then make sure that you get the red one. Don't get the green one, because if you get the green one, it will take so long to cook. So I recommend that you get the yellow one, which is already ready. It's going to take around half hour cooking it, so it takes less time. But if you buy the green one, it will take you longer to get it ready. So I recommend that you get the yellow one.
Okay.
So now you can see the oil, it's already warm. So what we're going to do now, we're pouring in all the onion into the oil. The onion.
Tony, I have another question. A couple questions. One question and one correction. If the palm oil, the red oil, is not available, what would you recommend as a substitution?
Very good question. You can still use canola oil, but the taste is not going to be the same.
Okay.
If you would use the red oil. So in extreme necessity, just use canola oil.
Okay.
And don't use too much canola oil. If you have to use canola oil, use at least 150 milliliter to 100 milliliter of canola oil, and when you're doing a portion of 3 to 4 people. And if you're doing only for yourself, just use between 50 to 70 milliliter of canola oil, because of the amount of fat that canola has. So the red oil doesn't contain any fat on it.
Okay. And one comment from Jim, and Jim, no, I didn't mean you were correcting me, but I am ignorant when it comes to cooking bananas. In my cuisine, we never use that in the Turkish culture. So somebody was asking in the chat whether a cooking banana was the same as a plantain. And I assumed that they were the same, but Jim corrected me that there is actually a third kind, a cooking banana. He clarified that for our audience. Thank you for doing that, Jim. And
no, because when you look into the cooking banana and the plantain, pretty much the same thing. You know, like a regular banana you have the largest one, and you have the medium one, and you have a small one, but it's still the banana, the one we regularly eat. So the plantain is exactly the same thing. You have the long ones, it depends the country where it came from. Different countries, they have a different, you know, like the eggplant, even in Africa, we have different countries that they produce different size of the eggplant, but it's all still the same eggplant. Angolan's eggplant are pretty similar to the Canadian eggplant, which they are long and larger. But when you go to like Saint Tome and the Principe, one of the countries, and the Cape Verde, the eggplant is shorter and wider, but shorter, but it's still the same. So this one is this one, because this is the shorter size of it. You have the largest one, but it's still the plantain. If you ask that some people, African people, they will tell you it's a plantain, or even some Caribbean, they'll say it's a plantain. It is a plantain. Now, for your question, coming to cooking, what we do, we just boil it. After it's boiled, it's ready to go. We remove the skin, and then it's ready to be served.
Cool. Okay. So you already put the onions in the oil, I think, while we were talking, right? Just stir them a little bit.
So I put the onion already, and now I don't, yeah, it's cooking, but it's very, very slow.
Not very, yeah.
We have to put all together. Now we have the onion. It's while we put the onion, and then we put the you can put the tomato at the same time with the onion, and then let it all cook for around 5 to 7 minutes, and make sure that all the tomato it's all melt. Yes, the fire is not that strong enough.
Yeah, try maybe one of the others. We might need to fundraise a little bit to get a new stove for our kitchen, hey? So, and while we're doing this, again, Tony, because we're gonna wait for the tomatoes to cook. So you told us fish is a big staple in the Angolan cuisine. Tell us a little bit more, like the main things people eat for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. Are there differences? What are the main staples in the cuisine?
Okay. In Angola, breakfast is we eat exactly the same breakfast as we do in the Western countries. We have bread, toast, omelette, eggs, bacon, just like a Western's breakfast in Angola. Now, when it comes to lunch, now is where we kind of do a variety of meal. So in the lunchtime, most of the people, they eat spaghetti or potatoes or rice, or you can eat a corn flour that we make it. We boil the water, then we put the corn flour in, and we make it like it become like a starch. We eat that, and we can eat it with meat, fish, or beans, whatever it is. If in the lunchtime, most of the household, what they do, when it's the lunchtime, you eat one meal, and for supper time, you change a different meal. Supper time can be the supper time can be, if you eat rice in the lunchtime, you can eat spaghetti at the supper time, or you can eat potatoes at the supper time. Just light meal. It's the pain. Majority of the household is like that. We don't have some African countries, they will have a same meal from breakfast, lunch, and the supper, but Angola no. Angola does a variety of things.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this cooking here is good. So we can see here.
Yeah, I can see the steam. That one's better.
So our tomato and the onion is cooking. Okay. You know? So in the meantime, while I am working on the tomato and onion to be cooking, I can now add a salt. I put it in the salt. I personally, when I'm cooking, I don't really put salt in my meals. I like to put it on when I'm serving my own dishes. I can add it in my dishes or not. You know, usually I don't. For salt, I was just gonna put one coffee spoon.
Okay.
Only one of salt. I have one coffee spoon. You put it in, you spread it out, and then the rest in the end, if someone want to add, is free to do so. Then when you have it, you mix it. You mix it, and then I added in garlic. Now, garlic, as I mentioned earlier, I like garlic, a lot of garlic in my meat, a lot of onions in my meal, but not salt. So this is, we put is a grinded garlic. we put around 3 garlic and we grind it in together. So I'm going to use, I'm gonna put in the garlic and mix it together with tomato and the onion.
Mhm.
Now, before I put the eggplant, I have to make sure that all the tomato is sit and melt. Another thing also I'm gonna add is the green onion. That's also another favorite things I like putting on my meal, especially when I'm doing fish or I'm doing a pork. I like to put in, I'm not very fond of chicken, so I pretty much, I eat most of the fish, pork, and the beef.
Well, so far, like the main ingredients, other than the red oil, this is it's looking very similar to Mediterranean, like tomatoes, onions, and garlic. So far.
But you know that the Atlantic Ocean, you have to see this one. Southern Africa, the southwest of Africa is Atlantic Ocean, which is when you go up north of Africa, you're getting into the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Southern Africa, east of South Africa, you have Indian Ocean. When you follow that Indian Ocean, it merges with Mediterranean. So we have so we have all of them in Africa, except the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So that's why you see there's a lot of a similarity between the Greek and the Turkeys when it comes into the meal and certain things like that. Because of the ocean proximity we have. So now we're seeing here, really, we're getting there. You can see. Yeah. I'm not sure if the camera will be able. Make sure the camera doesn't fall into the pot. So we are good. You can see that it is sitting in. I'm just kind of use. You can use a wooden spoon, or you can use the hard plastic one, so you don't damage the bottom of cooking pot. And then it sits really, it touches really the food and allows it to really to temper easily. You can see. You see how it's cooking in.
So I see that the next ingredient waiting for us when the tomatoes are cooked is going to be the eggplants.
Now the egg, the eggplant will come in, and then we're going to put we will put the green onion. But then when we put the green onion and the eggplant, we don't need to wait that longer. Then we can put the fish and the calulu and the spinach on the at the same time, so they can both boil together, and then so that everything mix and the temper and a better way. So we are almost close to get to that position right now.
So with the eggplants, all Asmarat did was just wash them and chop them like in small cubes, I think, right?
Yeah, okay. Here we go. Sorry, we didn't show you guys how we wash it, but we're going to do it for a second time. So people can see how they got washed in. So I have them here. I bought this thing here, which is you put cold water.
So just water, like in Turkey, we use a lot of eggplants too, but we leave them in some salty water for a couple of minutes to take.
Oh, no, you don't need that with Calulu.
All right.
Because we don't want the eggplant to lose its taste, its original taste.
Sure.
We want that they mix with the veggies, and then they cook it all together.
So are eggplants grown usually in Angola, Tony, since it's part of the, general cuisine that much? Does the climate support growing eggplants, or are they being imported?
No, we have, Angola is a very agriculture country. We have a very fertile land. We produce it ourselves.
Okay, great.
The eggplant, it's more fertile in southern of Angola. We have all the from southwest going toward the southeast and going further down. That is really is where the eggplants are more produced. The northern of Angola is more on spinach and the cattle, things like that. But the southern is where most of the fruits and veggies come from.
Okay. So how many people of Angolan descent do you think lives in Canada these days?
In Edmonton, not that many, but Calgary, the majority, the high concentration of Angolan populations is on the big region of Toronto and Montreal, and then the third largest community, Angolan community in Canada is Calgary. Edmonton, Edmonton, not long ago that they start coming in. So now you see, before we go in, you can see the tomato and all, and the onions, they're all now they're all together, and then everything is melt. So now we're putting in eggplant.
How many eggplants? Two? Eggplants?
Eggplants, we put the two.
Two eggplants, okay.
Yes. And then once you put the eggplant, you mix it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the audience are having fun.
Yeah.
So if I'm not taking that much time, but I know that they're having fun. So we have, I put the eggplant, now is a green onion. They're going in all together. Now, here we go. Now we have the onion, we have garlic, we have eggplant, we have green onion. So the next to do is now to put the fish before I put okra.
Okay.
Now, here's how we put the fish when we're doing Calulu. We put it, we place it on the, can you see it? Yeah. Okay. You want me to bring it down here and then, okay, we're good. So we put it as we were arranging things in the box.
Okay.
So it's already full. I put the first portion like that, and then the okra. Did you wash it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a okra that has been washed. Then we put the fish first stage, and then you can put okra around it. You put okra around it. Now we're putting in spinach. It's washed already. You don't need to cut it, you just put it in as it is.
Okay.
Because during the process, it's going to melt itself.
Okay. So this is almost a full bunch of spinach, like if you buy it from Superstore, Italian Center, hey?
I bought it from a superstore.
Uh-huh.
Now, once you put the spinach, you add the fish on the top of it.
Okay.
And then you add okra.
Okay.
And all will be melting together. And then, here we go again. We put it in the spinach. I think I brought a lot of spinach on. So we're just going to put this one, not too much. So now we have everything. Now that we have everything done, now the last thing left is to add water.
Okay.
Because as I say, as I'm cooking for 3 people, 4, so we need more water to put it in, which means I would like to put it in. Oh, I forgot. We have a bay leaf. We put it in. Oh, yeah. Now I have to add in 1.5 liters of water. So to allow, because we saw the amount of spinach we put it in is enough, is a lot. Now we need more water that can allow the whole process to get together, to boil, and not to avoid that the pot burn in the onion and everything we put underneath. We will have to avoid that thing doesn't burn. So we have to put more water that so it can really cook together properly. So I'm going to get these. No, I want to get the water. So yeah.
So are you going to put cold water into this or just boil it a little bit?
No, cold water.
Cold water, okay. And I have a message for you. So Aniela says, looking good, Chef Tony. Brad's daughter, Aniela, is watching.
Second?
Brad's daughter, Aniela, is watching tonight too. So she says it's looking good.
Okay, thank you. It's a really lot of fun. So here's the amount of water I have. So it looks like a 1.5 liters. So this is the amount of water that we're going to pour in. So when you're putting the water, make sure you're putting it side by side.
It looks like a pretty simple meal, actually. This is something I might be able to make at home.
Oh, I guarantee you, Sim, is a very simple and a very attractive and a very sexy meal as well. So you can do it while you're singing. It's a really, really simple, but in the end, it really pays off.
Okay.
So now that I have all the water, put it in, I cover. Now my heat, I will put it in a medium heat, but because the stove we're using is not very hot, I'm trying to bring it at the 3/4.
Okay.
Not high, but because if it was really like my stove, it cooks so fast and so hot, so we bring the heat on the middle, on the medium heat. So yeah, but now we put it like a 3/4 and allowed it to boil work for at least ½ hour, and then we should be fine. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any questions, I'm willing to do so. Otherwise, and then, oh, okay.
So we actually do have, I'm cooking along at home and I must have missed it. When should we put the bay leaves? Bay leaves right before the water, right? At the top. You put them at the top, or can they go in the middle?
Okay, while now we're letting we're waiting for the calulu to cook. This is now, we're going to do the plantain. Okay. So the plantain, give me the cutting board. Cutting board. Yeah. So to allow the plantain to cook quicker and faster, right? Yeah. So instead of putting it entire, we're just going to kind of cut it in the middle to allow it to cook faster. Yeah, you wash it. Give me a second. You wash the plantain. This one, another one. Thank you.
Okay, I have a comment, Tony, from Kelly.
Yeah.
He says, thank you, Chef Tony. I'm so happy to learn how to make this dish from Angola, where I was born. I came to Canada very young and never learned how to make dishes from Angola. So we actually have somebody that's learning about their own heritage. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But she probably forgot also to speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll ask Kelly if she speaks Portuguese, yes.
Okay. So we got it here.
You can speak Portuguese, apparently.
Oh, that's good. So then there we go. So you didn't forget anything. You're just trying to recapitulate. So you will be okay. Now from today you can make it at home.
Okay. So basically cooking bananas, all we did is wash them and then you're chopping the ends and then cutting them in about a little over an inch, I think, hey? Cutting them into thirds.
Yeah. So make sure that the edges, you take them off. Like this size here, we can just do it twice.
Yeah.
You know, and
depends on what they prefer. Okay.
So from this one, so you go, I do the same. I cut it in the middle twice. And we have this one. There we go.
Yeah, so slightly smaller or slightly larger, doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, so now we have it all chopped to twice the size. So what to do is just fill up the water. So some people, they might add the salt, but I will not recommend to put the salt on because it's in the end it tastes a little bit sweety, though. It's a sweet and all this, so you don't want to add salt with sugar at the same time. But cooking it the way it is, it will be better off and much tasty than if you added in a salt on that one. So,
and for those, some people joined us later. So for those, I'll remind your tip. You said, buy the more ripe, redder, more yellower cooking bananas because they will cook faster. The green ones might take much longer to cook.
Exactly that, yes. So, and now we have the banana. While we're waiting for the Calulu to be cooking itself and everything that we put it into kind of get together and mix up, now you can put the banana boiling itself on the water. So it's gonna take roughly half hour, pretty much the same time as the Calulu is cooking. So we cover that. And then we let it sit for half hour. But while we keep, after 25 minutes, we need to take a look and see how these things is operating.
Okay, I have a question. Carla said, and I'm in the same boat. She says, I've never cooked plantain. Do you usually cook it with the skin on?
Yeah, you boil it with the skin, and then when you finish, after cooking, then you remove the skin. That way, you avoid water to get into the plant, to the banana that you're gonna eat. Because once you boil it without the skin, it loses its taste because the water gets inside the banana, and with the temperature of the water that is boiling, it takes away all the taste of the fruit itself. So I prefer to cook it with the skin to preserve that taste that is inside the banana.
in a way, the recipe, right, Tony? The fact that we're boiling it, that's why you're cooking them with the skin. If it was a different recipe where you weren't boiling the plantains, but maybe frying them, stir frying them or something, then yeah. So we're just cooking them with the skin because we're boiling them.
Yeah, I'm boiling them. If you have to fry them, yes, remove the skin. Yeah, you cannot fry them with the skin. Remove the skin if you're frying them. But if you just you're boiling them as I'm doing, just do it with the skin. So while we're waiting for this, I'm putting in the Angolan music. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to listen to that.
We can hear it a little bit. Well, and do tell us about the music then. Maybe we can hear it a little bit.
That's Kizumba. That is one of the preferred music you want. Can you hear that?
Oh, we have entertainment tonight too.
Okay, here we go with my wife.
All right, maybe keep the phone closer.
So I have to teach her. Well, but, that's Kizomba.
Tony, who is singing the song?
Huh?
Who is the singer?
This is Angolan. You know, when you see Brazil cultures, you know, it's derived, it came from Angola. So we have the same similar. In Brazil, they sing samba, what it is. So Angola is a kizomba.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you see how.
I do have one message.
No.
Karen is saying, and Karen, maybe you joined us late. She's saying, I'm thinking any white fish will work in this recipe, so they can substitute tilapia with other white fish, right?
Say again?
Karen is just confirming, and I think you already mentioned, they can substitute the tilapia fish with any white fish.
Any white, yes, any white fish. You know, you can, Calulu, here's it is. I'm just doing with tilapia, but sometimes also you can do a codfish. Codfish, you can do the tilapia and the codfish, the salted codfish, you can mix it together as well. So every white fish, any white fish, you can do it with Calulu. Yeah, doesn't necessarily has to be tilapia. You're right.
Kelly is asking, do you also bake plantains or just boiled or fried?
I don't bake. I just we boil them or we fry them.
Okay.
And other people they might bake it, but we don't. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Not in your kitchen. All right.
No, in our culture we don't bake. We fry it or we boil it.
Okay. Tell me, Tony, a little bit also, you were saying in the beginning, naturally, the people that are living in the coast, they eat more seafood. So are there differentiations or differences in the cuisine, depending on where in the country you live?
Not really, no. There's not much of a difference in the cuisine, you know. The little difference is like the people who live on the coastal area of Angola, they don't use much of peanut butter when in the cooking process. While the people living in the central of Angola and the east of north, central, and the east of Angola, they use more of butter, peanut butter, in the cooking process. But the eastern western coast, they don't use much of that, but they do use. That is, I would say, that is the difference. That's the only little difference that is there between the east coast and the west coast.
Now, also let's talk about some spices. So since we're making fish, the main spice is the bay leaf, essentially. You know, usually it's coming from the vegetables itself. But are there specific or unique spices that you use in the Angolan cuisine?
I don't. We most of the time we add a ginger. We like adding ginger in the especially when doing a fishing, cooking a seafood. We like to add ginger. That will be the little bit of a special things that do people put it in a lot. But other than that, no. Most of the time, it's just the regular ingredient as you saw me doing it.
Spicy? Do people eat hot and spicy?
Yeah, they like the spicy food. Yes, we eat that. So I didn't want to. My wife has suggested we put the spice. I said no, we're not doing it because not everybody can contain that. Yeah, it's spice. Also, we like to put it in our food. It's really pretty much in every food we have a spice there, but we don't want to add it in here because of the, you know, as we just making, as I say, it's a people's choice. It's the person's option to do so. So I am presenting, which is the common ingredients that goes with Calulu. Spice and ginger, these are optional.
I see. Also, we're not making desserts tonight, but some cultures, desserts are a big thing. Some cultures, it's not. So Angolans, is dessert a big thing? Sweets are a big thing in your culture. What would you eat as a, dessert?
As a dessert?
Uh-huh.
The dessert, it's just like normal dessert. I would say it can be a cake, an ice cream, chips, peanut butter with toast or something. Just as a Western dessert. We don't have a really specific dessert.
I see. Okay. Let's see if people have any questions for us.
Okay.
So far, so good. So
we let everything cooking, and I wish we can go faster than that, but we don't have a control of the instrument.
That's okay. Nice to chat and talk.
No, because it's gonna, I sense that it's gonna burn our water.
So, Tony, going back to again, maybe, I don't know if you know about it, but history of the Angolan people in Canada. When have they started coming to Canada? Usually the biggest, populations. Do you have any information about that? Have they come more recently, or have they been here for a long time?
The people, they start coming in Angola. Oh, the Angolan people coming in Canada. The first one, if my mind is okay, it's back in 70s. But the majority were all students. They were all students. Yeah, they came in, but the big number of Angolans coming to Canada in the 90s. 91, 92 is where the majority of Angolans now they start coming to Canada, migrating to Canada. Yeah.
Well, I know a little bit about your story because I know you. So tell us also about your journey, because you've been to a lot of places yourself too. So tell us about how you ended up in Canada and where in Canada.
Well, when I first moved to Canada, it was in 1998. I landed in Montreal. I remember it was the August 29, 1998. It was just 7 months after after the Quebec has that huge winter storm. So I came to Canada in 1998. I was in Montreal and I loved Montreal. But then I found out that it was a too big city for me, too noisy. And then I really, I wanted really to discover west of Canada. And I wanted to improve in my English, and I wanted my children also and to grow in the English side, because in Montreal, even though I was living on the west side of Montreal, but it was more, I was pretty much more into the French environment. So yeah, I stayed in Montreal for 4 years. I started working in manufacture before I went to work for the federal government. And then I worked for another company where we were producing, we were manufacturing frames for IBM laptops, and then also equipment for Bombardier, which I was the machine operator doing for Bombardier Aeronautic. I was doing those. And then I did movies. I pretty much was like a stuntman for Hollywood big screens movie.
Oh, wow.
I did a movie. I participate as a stuntman, as a double. The people who know movie, you know, when you certain things is that which is it's a risky actions. The actor or actress doesn't do it. Somebody else does that on the actor's behalf, because to avoid injuries and all this and delays on filming. So I did a stuntman and a doubling. I doubled for Wesley Snipes in 1998, The Art of War. And then I did 1999. I was involved in doing Live Through These. It was a TV series. I was there really for a long time. And then I did a stunt on a 1999 movie called the Heist. Was with Gene Hackman, Danny DeVito, the short guy for people who knows the movie industry, Delroy Lindo. He was one of the guy did Romeo Must Die, and also Gone in 60 Seconds. He was a cop on the 60 second, Gone in 60 Seconds. People who have watched that, they know who Delroy Lindo is. I work with him, with Gene Hackman, and then I did a movie. Stallone called me to do the movie, The Race. I had no time to do that, and then I had the guy Rollerblade. This guy, I think it was not 50 cents. I forgot the name of the guy. Anyway, so I didn't have the time because I was really overbooked. And then the last movies I did before I moved to Edmonton was The Sum of All Fears with Morgan Freeman and Ben Affleck. That was really the last show I did. Then I moved here in 2001. I was sent here. I came here. I fell in love with this place. And then here I am until today. So in 2003, I left all the government jobs and everything to start my own business. So until today, I take a pleasure. I'm really happy from what I'm doing until today. And all the beautiful people of this land, I love them so much. So I'm really happy to be here. That's my journey.
Wonderful. So I have some, let's see, people have been writing. So first of all, Kelly, who is Angolan, she says she remembers her mom using dende oil when she made fish and funge, cassava flour. Do you use any of it in your cooking?
Okay, you see, I use the spinach here at the Calulu, but you can use also cassava leaves to make Calulu. And those ingredients that she mentioned, that's true. But those ingredients, you don't find them here. You find them in Angola, or maybe in Portugal.
And she's also asking, when you were dancing, were you referring to the Kizomba dance, the Angola
Yes.
Kizomba dance? There you go.
I told you that she didn't miss anything. She's just kind of like recapitulating
Remembering everything, yes.
Yeah, That was a kizomba, yes. And then I don't know if she will remember, but I think she might be remembered. There's a kubata that you go to. She probably knows about that.
We'll ask Kelly if she remembers that. She also says she remembers for dessert her mom making lots of fruit platters with tropical fruit they had in the garden and egg.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a papaya, you have you can have what do you call it? Ananas.
Bakashi.
Pineapples and all this. So, yeah, this is all. And then in the morning, usually in the morning, Angolans they like to eat milk rice. You know the milk, the rice. You cook the rice and then you put sugar, you put the milk. That's also one of the favorite breakfasts from Angolan people.
Okay, wonderful. So I have a question now. Joyce asks Chef Tony, what is your favorite Angolan dish? So is Calulu your favorite tonight, or what is your favorite?
Calulu is one of my favorite one. And then beside the Calulu, I have Mufeta. Mufeta also is one of my favorite, but I haven't cooked, I didn't want to cook Mufeta yet, but Calulu is one of the top one on the list.
Okay, and
but we have the Mufeta too.
Asked about dessert, but Joyce is also asking, how about a drink? Does Angola have a drink that is specific to your country?
Yes, Angola, that is okay, we have our local beer, alcohol, which is, we have a Kuka, Nokal, and Eka. Those are the three beer brand in Angola. Then we have Caporoto. Caporoto, that is, you produce Caporoto from the sugar cane. You produce that drink from sugar cane, and then you let it ferment for maybe a week. You leave it inside a jar for a week, and that will become stronger. And then after that, you pour it on the big pot, and then you put it on the fire, and then you put a leaf into like a grass leaf. You put it into the pot, and then towards the jar. So that drink will be boiling, and then the steam will be dropping like a drop. That will be dropping into the jar. That is what we call caporot. It's like a vodka, but like a rum. It's so strong that doesn't have even a percentage. You cannot calculate the percentage of that. That thing, you can put it in jet line in the airplane, and then the airplane will take off with that thing when it comes up. Seriously, it's so strong that once it comes in, if you light up a match, that thing is gonna flame out. So that is caporot. Yeah, that is typically Angola, and I know how to make it.
So we have requests. We might have to call you back already. So Kelly is asking, will you be able to teach us one day how to make muamba de galinha?
She didn't forget anything. Why is she saying that she forgot? She's really up to date. I know how to make muamba. I can make even I can make you know the catfish. I can cook a catfish in a muamba. She will love it. Yeah.
So Aniela was asking how long would this take to prepare, cook, etc. So she's talking about tonight. So about we said about half an hour. It needs to this whole thing needs to boil and cook, right? Both the plantains and the stew.
Yeah. We are almost there. We can see that when you come and see, you can tell it's already there cooking. So we just have to allow the time.
Socially distanced, of course, and Paige, all this.
You know, we have to allow the time for the spinach really to change the color, and but pretty much you can tell the ingredient, most of the ingredients already cooking in.
So many months, but.
And then here we go. The plantain is cooking as well.
Perfect. Okay.
So we are almost there, almost there. We will be eating before 7 p.m. I guarantee that.
Okay, yeah, so this is a rather quick meal, actually about the preparation time, maybe 15 minutes to chop the vegetables and on everything, and about a 35, 40 minute, I mean, in total, 1 hour, it will be ready.
We'll be, yeah, before 7 p.m. we'll be okay, we'll be done.
Sure.
Because the time frame I gave of 20 and a half hour was for one person a meal. So now that we increase the number of pupils for 3 to 4, so we have to increase everything, the quantity of fish, the quantity of this, so the time also kind of increase a little bit.
Of course. Well, plus I'm interrupting you all the time with my questions.
No, but I really appreciate that these questions coming forth. I really like that. I like that.
Wonderful. Okay, and keep them coming, everybody that's watching. If you have any other questions, do type them in. I'm passing those on.
I love cooking. I love cooking. I like doing this stuff. It's a hobby for me. You know?
So, Tony, I also happen to know you have two great sons. I have trouble with my son trying my, Turkish cuisine. How are your sons? Are they, in favor of Angolan cuisine, or do they prefer the Canadian staples?
Among the two children I have one is very lazy when it comes to the kitchen. The best guy, the best one. I wish that he would be here with me, but today he ate so much for food, so he's sitting home. That one he learned and he cooks very good.
Okay,
that's one. Yeah, is the best one.
So you have spoiled us tonight. Anela is requesting another dance. You got to teach us some more dance moves.
Some of what?
Some more dance moves. Another dance.
No worries, man. Yeah. There's so much there. There's it's gonna come. We're coming in. So, Angolans are the same like Brazilians, the same as the Portuguese. So the meal goes with all the joy of life. Most of the time when they're cooking in, the music is playing, and then wine is sitting beside. So because it's all about fish and things like that. No worries. Next time, yeah.
You're reminding us. We might have to invest in a little bit of a music system, in that kitchen. So when people are cooking, we can turn on the music.
I know you can. I know you can do that. You're a woman of many talents. I know you can do that, and that would be great. Really, would be good thing. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great.
It to be more inspirational.
Exactly. Of course.
Yeah, that would be good. I would love that. Wow, my stuff is getting there. Now, you push the spinach inside. That way, it protected the cooking pot not to burn down on the bottom, because the water that the spinach brings in, it allowed the pot to really function at its best.
Okay, wonderful, looking great. And the plantains are almost done, probably. So we're just gonna, in the end, just drain, strain them and then peel them. And that will be our side dish, huh?
You mean for the plantain?
Yeah.
Yes. Once it's done, let me see this. I need to get one plate here.
Yeah, and how do you know they're ready, Tony, the plantains? You just come in?
How to do is, that's why I grabbed the fork, the fork. So you come and kind of poking the skin. You put your fork in, and then you sense it if it's like now it's getting ready. It's just like 5 to 10 more minutes, it should be ready. Some are already ready, some are not. It's by poking. And you see this already ready because the skin, it kind of like cut itself.
Okay.
So when you see that, this one, it's already ready. Then what to do? So we just, with the knife, we just open like that. And that's it. So then, you see, you don't need to put, you just go a little bit and it's already done. So this is already done.
I see.
So you go and then we can find a couple of them already ready and we have to pull them out. This one is done. This one is done. No, we're taking it out. The one is already ready. So I'm gonna let them.
You can do this. You can wait a few more minutes and then get the whole thing, everything out. We're just
Some of them already, they're already done. So it didn't even took a half hour, less than half hour.
That's good.
Yeah, because we got the one is it's already yellow.
So do they change color?
Yeah, you see inside even they change the color, they become, even when you look it become yellow. It was white, but you can tell the color has changed.
I see. Yeah,
It's yellow, so it's ready to be, yeah, it's ready to go.
Looking great. Well, this is the perks of my job. Since I'm in the EIC building, I will get a chance to taste the amazing food. It will be my first time trying plantains and fish stew.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we do have another type of fish stew in Turkey as well, but this combination of ingredients with the vegetables that you have added, this is going to be the first time.
I'm glad to have you as my guest in my first restaurant.
That will be great. So yeah, that reminds me, you said there might be Angolan restaurants in the East Coast, but is there one in Edmonton?
Yes, there's a talk going on. I know a couple of Angolan ladies that they're cooking at home and they're doing like a curbside pickup, but they haven't established themselves at the location yet. So there are talk that going on that probably in the near future we might have the first Angolan restaurant opening up in Edmonton. If it doesn't happen by the end of this year, I guarantee that beginning of 2026, 22, we will have our first Angolan restaurant in actions in Edmonton.
Would you have contact information for the home catering ladies? I can maybe update the website for EIC and add information about them. If anybody tries some other home cooking.
Yes, I will provide you with the information.
That's wonderful. That's great. We'll add that to our Edmonton Intercultural Center webpage under the Angolan cuisine if anybody wants to order some different dishes from them.
Well, not for me.
I know, the catering ladies, yes. Before we can't wait for the restaurant to open, so.
But yeah, even me, you know, I've been thinking about that, you know, opening up a restaurant would be something good because it's really, really quite amazing and fun. So we'll see. But soon. It's not gonna. It will be soon. Soon we'll be opening that. Okay. So the best way also, you know, when you're doing, because my cooking, it's good, but we're trying to avoid people. Another thing we're trying to avoid when you're cooking Calulu, don't mix. You just do it like this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So this is the best way to preserve the fish, not to be really destroyed. So you do it this way, but make sure, because it's too hot.
I see. Yeah, if we mix it with the spoon, maybe once the fish is too soft, they might crumble into pieces otherwise, eh? When you do this, stay intact.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
There we go.
That's great.
Does anybody want to try this? The cameraman?
It's good.
Ready?
Yeah. Wow. Tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the energy on these things. It's so sweet, and it really, this is a very good. I really, wow, Superstore. I got it from Superstore. So nice.
What else would you serve plantains with? What kind of other dishes?
Mm. I can eat it with cold fish.
Mhm.
Cold fish. You can do it with mackerel fish. You can do it even with salmon too. Salmon fish.
Uh-huh.
It will be good. Yeah.
So
So
I have one of our participants, David. Of course, he's cooking at home, and he probably has a much better stove than the one that we have at the EIC. David says his is already ready. He's eating it with rice right now. Delicious. Thank you, Chef Tony, he says. David,
oh, they're already cooking it?
don't forget to take photos for us, David, and share it on our social media pages.
Yeah, I bring it down. No, you cannot put it. I just bring the fire a little bit down. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, if it would be for one person, it would be done a long time ago.
sure.
But we are, yeah, due to the portion of people to be served, that's why it's a little bit. But we are almost there. I guarantee you, almost there.
Yeah. Well, I have a suspicion that's actually a lot more. I mean, that's going to be feeding much more than 4 people. That's a lot of fish in there.
Wow. Yeah, I'll be testing my own food, and I want people to share with me the meal.
Of
So
course. Of course.
if we can have some family to come and share with us, that would be great as well. So we'll see.
It doesn't look like we have anyone that's living nearby, so not for today, but that means there's more for me and for I to taste tonight or take home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I brought a lunchbox. So.
I think someone brought the lunchbox.
Yeah, and David said exactly, he made it with only 1 fish. That's why his was ready a lot faster.
Oh.
Yeah.
The portion was
No,
so it could
you
be
know,
faster.
I had some friends, they were like, oh, Tony has been so long, you haven't cooked for us anymore. I said, no problem.
Well, and hopefully, if the pandemic restrictions are eased a little bit, maybe later in the spring, we can get together like an outdoor gathering or something like that, invite the people in the community to eat together outside.
Yeah, you see the one Kelly just mentioned about Momba. Momba is good, but it takes a really long time to cook that. But that is a really another delicious one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. People are actually cooking along with you. Millie says they also use about half your recipe in their batch, and it's smelling great. They're cooking at home with you. That's amazing.
Thank you. The Mwamba is a peanut butter, and it's crazy. It's a really nice. It's a tasty when it's really done. It's cooked and done. It's so great, and you love it. When you eat it, you love it, but it takes time. It really takes a lot of time to cook and all these lot of preparations as well. Yeah, as you say, if really things is ease up, that would be great. Outdoor activity, that would be a great thing to do.
Yeah, we'll save that one when we can do it in person, that people can spend time around the EIC, chat with each other, etc., while the food is cooking, and then we can eat it together.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
We're all waiting for those days to get back together again.
Soon. It
Soon.
will happen soon. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It will happen soon.
Tony, I have a question for you.
Uh,
Did anybody teach you how to make Calulu?
my mama told me that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
My mama told me, okay, we only had one girl in the family and the boys. So mama has to teach the boys is how to survive themselves. So I learned how to cook. I was I learned, I was 15 years old when I learned how to start cooking. And it was not starting with making omelets, no. I didn't start with that. So, and I can guarantee you that the first meal I cooked, I was the only one who could eat that meal. If you're giving it to a dog, he will collapse. So I can tell you that it wasn't easy. So I made my way, but my mom was the one initiated us, and most of my brothers. So everybody in the family knows how to cook.
Oh,
Mama the one taught us how to do this, and it helped us a lot in our journey of life.
So Tony, while we're waiting, tell us a little bit about your family too. Your where are they? How many siblings do you have?
We were 3 siblings. I am the one left, and the girls is the died too.
Oh, that's sad.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a part of the journey. Yeah, yeah.
And your
So,
mom, is she alive or has she passed away too?
Passed away. So I have so many cousins, which is I include as my brothers. You know, to cover the gap.
I see. Well, I did some research, you know, before tonight to brush up my knowledge about Angola before tonight. So it does say life expectancy is rather low. There's still a lot of, you know, child death, etc. Is it because of, you know, all the wars or things like that, famine, or why do you think that happens?
Angola had, you know, during the Cold War, Angola went through from the independence date in 1995 up to 2004. Angola suffered all these civil war, and a lot of destruction. Infrastructure were destroyed. Farmers had a hard time to produce crops because of the landmines.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah. So if you remember, even Princess Diana has to get involved into that. So it was really those period of time that we had these scarce of nutrition and all this and that. So now that the peace has come, so the government kind of like working on to improve people's life, you know. So now I think now the numbers should change, because when we look into the agriculture aspect in Angola, really Angola is doing really good. It's among the emerging countries when it comes into the third world countries. Angola in Africa is one of the fast emerging countries. So I think numbers might be changing now,
Sure.
but we still have a long way to go.
Not only natural resources, but in agriculture, it was a very fertile land. So it might have a lot of potential to help improve, you know, conditions in not only in Angola, but Africa in general, maybe.
Yeah, Angola, you know, because farmers, they were scared to go farming because of the landmines and all this. And those landmines, they were all dispersed. Yeah, a lot of children's they have been amputated because they weren't even for playing outside. They end up jumping into the mine.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is really a major factor that made Angola to be in that situation. But numbers are changing now. There's a lot of improvement coming in.
That's great.
There's also the environment too. The climate is a little conducive to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
disease and stuff. So,
So I will say my plantains are done.
Okay.
So just we're gonna drain it out. We have to let it cool down because of the temperature. We don't want to be draining the hot water into the sink because of the pipe.
Oh, I see.
So we have to let it cool down while we are now checking at our Calulu. So as you can see now, here we go. You can see the oil pan, the red oil.
Uh-huh.
It's already cooked. This is the major key is the red oil, the red oil. Now you can see the color has changed. So instead of a redness, it's not red anymore. You know, it's becoming like pretty much like a pink kind of a color. That is really a mix with the tomato, so it's cooking. We are almost there. Another 5 minutes, we should be fine and done.
Wonderful.
Here we go. That is a Calulu.
Uh-huh. And it wasn't hard to make. It was very easy to make. So I will definitely try this.
It is. It is. I mean, it just you have to be patient because the ingredient need to cook itself, and all that you put together need to get into the one piece. That is the only part of the story that you have to be patient. Otherwise, it's really a lot of fun doing it, and it's so healthy because everything is there. Is there's no fat on those. You know, the red oil, there's no fat compared to the canola oil.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Kelly
it's really,
says, Kelly says, thank you so much for organizing and cooking such a delicious meal. That looks so easy to make. I will make it for my family tomorrow night. So we're going to have a lot of people trying Angolan Calulu in the next couple days, I think.
oh yeah, it's a good dish to play with. You know?
Wonderful. And you said in the beginning again with the ratios of how much eggplant we add, how much spinach we add. It's basically personal preference. Try it, and then if you want more spinach, add more spinach, or more okra. Those are things that you can adjust yourself, eh?
Yes. So the recipe I sent on was based on one serving, which is one person. So that's why you saw the way it is. But now, as I say, it's your choice. You can add as much onion you want, garlic, okra. The only thing that you have to make sure you don't put it as you wish, as the red oil, don't put it as you wish.
Yeah.
It's because you're gonna destroy the food. It's not gonna cook well. Salt, don't put as you wish, because if it's too salty, you will be the only one eating it. You might not even like it again. So salt and the red oil, these are the things that I recommend not to put too much. But when you come to the spinach, you can put it as you wish. Every other ingredient, you can put them as you wish. You know.
I see.
So, as I can say that the Calulu is pretty much done. So I want to, before some audience they disconnect, I want to show them how the final dish will be.
Okay, sure. So it's just boiled plantains, yep, and they're very yellow now. Wonderful. That's going to be our side dish.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's how it looks. Oh, it's looking yummy. I love the colors. Look at that. The vibrant, yeah, greens and the yellows with the plantains looking great. Wonderful.
That's the
So this is Calulu, hey?
Calulu, yeah, that's the end of the dish.
That's the end of the dish. Well, thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, final questions for Tony, that will be great. Otherwise, we will be signing off for tonight. And thank you for joining our event. These World Flavors events are continuing until May 6th every week. Next week, we're going to have Chinese cuisine from June Kun. So we will have the recipes for that on our website soon. Join us for future events. And if you have any friends that missed tonight's session, we're actually recording it. So it's going to be on our YouTube channel, probably tomorrow or on Monday at the latest. Thank you so much, Tony. We appreciate it. Asmarat, Farai, thank you for your help. It's looking great. Everybody sending you their appreciation.
Thank you for having us, and bon appetit.
Have a great evening. Thank you.
Okay.
That was fun. Thank you. Have a great night. So I'm signing off for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining us.